Hey first grade, it's ready for spring week 7 where we're going to be working on a new bird, the brown thrasher. Although before we begin, we're going to look at some examples of our bird that we worked on last week from our students. So these are just some of the examples of peacocks that we drew last week. You can see that when we were looking at this bird, we remembered he's got a big tail. It's got lots of little details, long neck, and all these have got the right coloring on it. Very well done, my friends. Before you begin today, you're going to need paper, your sketchbook, or something to draw on, pencil and eraser, coloring supplies, and your STEM journal. Let's go over our expedition information. Our guiding question is the amazing bodies of birds, and our connection is that we are learning how to draw many different birds and learning how to draw them in the correct sizes. So we're drawing things that are the right sizes for their heads and their wings and their tails. Our learning targets. I can observe basic shapes in nature to help with my drawing, and I can draw a bird with good proportion. We are looking at the design process here. We're going to define what a brown thrasher is. We're going to use Ideate to come up with some ideas on how we draw it. We're going to do a little bit of a prototype when we sketch, and then we're going to test when we draw our bird. So this is the brown thrasher. This is Georgia's state bird. Like the bald eagle is America's bird, this is Georgia's individual bird. We have a lot of these around. So today we're going to open our STEM journals and write art bird, and we're going to do a small version of the brown thrasher. And then in our sketchbook we're going to open up and do a large picture of the brown thrasher with a background. Alright, so this is my teacher example of the brown thrasher. And remember, if you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to me at afriends@amanaacademy.org and check your Seesaw art folder for your assignment. So let's look at, we're going to open our STEM journal, and we're just going to find like a small part, something else. Like you guys aren't second grade, so don't worry about that, but just another part, a small part of your journal where you can make a new drawing, just a small one. And we're going to start by writing again art, A-R-T, bird, B-I-R-D, and then sketch, S-K-E-T-C-H, and then we'll write brown, B-R-O-W-N, and thrasher, T-H-R-A-S-H-E-R. Now we're going to draw a small version of our bird. When we start with our birds, we usually start with the circle for the head. Remember how we measured them? We would take our fingers and we would put one line there and then do the same thing there. So we're going to make sure that this oval is as big as, so two of these circles will fit in here. It would be 3 circles all together. We can draw an oval for the wing, triangle for the beak, and we'll draw the long rectangle for the tail, and we've got his feet. So this is just our quick sketch. This isn't going to be anything detailed. This is just going to be the quick sketch of the brown thrasher. We're going to do our full picture in our sketchbook. So go ahead and open your sketchbook. Oops. And find an empty page. There we go. And I'm going to hold my paper sideways. You can go up and down like this if you'd like, but I'm going to hold mine. Alright, so we're going to start like we did last time. We're going to start with the circle for the head, and we're going to make sure that our circle is the same, or we're going to measure our circle. I'll move it down a bit. There we go. So we're going to measure. We'll put your finger there and your finger there. Then now slide your fingers. Try not to move them so that your pointer finger is on the circle. We're going to make a little line right there. Now slide your fingers one more time down to right about here. We're going to make another oval. And so right now, this circle is, or maybe I should say, this oval is 2 times the size of this circle. Well, let's turn it into more of our bird. We're going to add the oval for his wing. We're going to add the long tail, or the long rectangle for a tail. Beak is going to be triangle shape. And then we're going to do one little triangle, one little rectangle for his leg, and then we're going to have another leg coming down like this way. And this guy's just going to have one leg, or this leg's just going to be one rectangle coming down. So the brown thrasher's body isn't too different than what we've been drawing for our other birds. It's once we get into the details that he's going to become more complicated. So let's turn these simple shapes into our bird. We're going to give him a neck right here and the neck at the back, which means that we're going to erase those lines. I'm going to get rid of this line that's in the front that I messed up. I'm going to take his beak and we're going to draw, there we go, that's a little bit better. And we can make that second line because we said before that the beaks are 2 pieces. He's got an eye. Next, and they've got these little, kind of like the way their eyes go, or the feathers around their eyes goes back like that. Now his wing, we're going to erase this back part of the line, and we wouldn't see his tail underneath it, but his wing at the end is actually kind of like a point. He's got it's more like a triangle at the end. He's got a long tail, and we're going to leave that mostly rectangular. And then let's work on these feet. We're going to draw, I'm going to erase that little spot in the middle where that's his leg coming down, and here's one of his toes. And then we've got another toe back here with the claw on it, or the talon. And I'm going to draw kind of the same thing over here. And I need to erase that little spot right there. Alright, so since he's standing on something, I want to draw the tree branch or whatever it is that I'm going to have him standing on. So again, they look similar in bodies and shapes to most of the other birds that we've been working with. It's not until we start to color the brown thrasher that we notice there's a lot of difference. One of the things that you're going to see is that they've got this little stripe that goes across his wing, but the stripe has 2 parts. There's a dark brown and a white. And then he's got another stripe kind of underneath it, which is going to be a dark brown and then white. And he's got this part of his body is going to be white, but he's got these little dots of brown going down his chest. And now we're going to be ready to color. So I need to get, let's see, a light brown color, a darker brown color. Like I said before, he's got yellow eyes, and then we're going to need just a little bit of black. So the part of his body that is all black is his beak. He's got one part of his eye. His eye is yellow. And that's actually all of it for those two colors. Everything else is going to either be dark brown, light brown, or white. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this light brown color and I'm going to color him, well, lightly, light brown. And I'm going to make sure not to color the spots that I know need to be white or a different color. Now I'm going to take my dark brown and I'm going to start doing the parts that need to be dark brown, like that top row and this top part. But remember, I'm leaving that second one white. And then the spots on his chest. And if you don't have another brown, draw one lightly and then press down hard with the second one, and it's almost the exact same kind of color. And then his legs are brown, because if a bird has the name brown in his, well, if the bird has the word brown in his name, he's probably got a lot of brown. And he's got, yep, he's got dark claws. And that is the bird himself. And then we can work on adding a background to him. So that is our bird for this week. I look forward to seeing your brown thrashers.